Things are going from bad to worse for Alina Habba, and I'm here for it, here on the MeidasTouch Network. She just had to file a brief in New Jersey. I got my hands on it. I'll post it on Legal AF Substack, in which she had to finally get around and have the Department of Justice fire her first assistant as U.S. attorney so that Alina Habba could fill the role of first assistant so that Donald Trump could elevate her to be the acting U.S. attorney. And if you're confused by that, the brief that they just filed is not going to make it any clearer, except I loved a series of exhibits in the back, including the one where they actually sent an email to Desiree Grace. She goes by Lee Grace, the career prosecutor that 17 federal judges in New Jersey wanted to see be the interim acting U.S. attorney while Donald Trump finally got around to appointing somebody that could get confirmed by the Senate. And here's the firing notice, along with a very interesting letter from Alina Habba, in which she both resigns from a position and says she looks forward in serving in the position. The upside down world of Alina Habba. Why can't Donald Trump just appoint somebody that can get through Senate confirmation so that the Department of Justice's reputation, already in tatters and in shreds, can start to be rehabilitated by having somebody that is a credible prosecutor representing the Department of Justice in New Jersey? Try that, but he won't. So we'll have to cover it right here. You're on MeidasTouch. Hit the free subscribe button, come over to Legal AF YouTube channel and do the exact same thing. So what happened? A couple of days ago, I reported that a criminal defendant's lawyer filed a motion challenging the indictment of his client because Alina Habba was not properly appointed. He only recognized Lee Grace, who got appointed by the federal judges. We said that there's going to be challenges to the power and authority of U.S. attorneys that are improperly appointed by Donald Trump. In particular, Donald Trump couldn't get Alina Habba through in 120 days for confirmation in the Senate. So there was a gap where her term was up. So the 17 judges of the federal district court in New Jersey, under a statute, appointed Desiree Grace. She lasted less than 24 hours. Donald Trump then did two things. He had Pam Bondi appoint Alina Habba as a special attorney. That's a term from a statute in the Constitution, then assigned her to have the job function of the U.S. attorney in New Jersey with an indefinite appointment. And then they also made her own acting deputy, her first assistant U.S. attorney, and then elevated her. Some of my favorite readings in this mishmash, this upside down world, are in the exhibits, and I'll post them up here. So she gets appointed and it fails. Here's my favorite as we get to the bottom, as to the back here. She says in a letter, this is from Alina Habba, signed by Alina Habba. This is one of the exhibits here. On page 1 of 1, this is Exhibit 4. To a dear Attorney General Bondi. This is dated July 24th. I hereby resign my position as interim U.S. Attorney for the District of New Jersey, effective 5 p.m. today, July 24th. Listen to this next line. I look forward to continuing to lead the U.S. Attorney's Office in the District of New Jersey. Has anybody ever written a resignation letter where they said they resigned from their job but they look forward to continuing it? That's the world we're in with Donald Trump and Alina Habba. But then they figured out they better fire the person that was appointed by the judges under the statute so that she can also fill and be her own first assistant to her own job. So they fire Desiree Grace, Republican, by the way, career prosecutor, unlike Alina Habba, no prosecutorial experience, federal law clerk, unlike Alina Habba, federal law practice, unlike Alina Habba, respected by judges, unlike Alina Habba. And this person takes the job. Why? She'll have to come on the show and tell me why she took the job for 24 hours, knowing she'd be canned. But they then, on the 26th of July, they send her two different missives, one from the Department of Justice and the other from somebody from the president's office. So Trump gets involved. So first, on the same time, the U.S. Department of Justice, Jay Macklin, General Counsel for the Executive Office for the U.S. Attorneys, in Washington, says, "Dear Miss Grace, your personal social media pages," that's her LinkedIn, "reflect that you believe that you will be assuming the position of United States Attorney for the District of New Jersey today. But as you were aware, you were removed from employment from federal service on July 22nd. You're no longer employed by the department. You will not serve as the United States Attorney for the District of New Jersey, and Alina Habba has the job." But if they really thought that, then why do they have the president's office, this Saurabh Sharma, special assistant to the president, Office of Presidential Personnel, writes to her the same day and says, "Desiree," as if they know her. She goes by Lee. "You may not lawfully serve as the United States Attorney for the District of New Jersey. The District of New Jersey lacked authority to appoint you under 28 U.S.C. 546D because Alina Habba resigned on July 24th, which was before her appointment expired at the end of July 25th. See, that's the game, right? They were saying there wasn't a vacancy to fill by the judges because she hadn't resigned yet. But that's not the way that statute works. Regardless, even if the district court had such authority, the president hereby removes you from the office pursuant to his authority under Article 2. And Alina Habba is the acting U.S. attorney pursuant to another statute." Well, I don't know about that. And now this is before, this is a District of New Jersey case, but got reassigned because every judge voted against Alina Habba to a judge in the Middle District of Pennsylvania, sitting by designation as a federal judge in New Jersey. Get that? That's about as clear as Alina Habba saying, "I resigned my job. I look forward to continuing my job." But I love the fact they had to get Donald Trump to fire her again. When she took to LinkedIn and said, "I don't know, I was appointed by the federal judges. I'm going to keep my job." "No, you're not, and we're going to fire you from your 15 career in the Department of Justice as well." Now, this is all going to lead, and I'm going to end up reporting on it, on a filing by outside groups to have Alina Habba declared invalid and unconstitutionally appointed. It's in the works. I can't tell you by who, but it's coming. We'll report on it. I'll talk about it here. I just want to read a couple of quick pages from this particular filing, just to show you how screwed up it is. Let's go to page 11 and 12. This is Alina Habba. Ms. Habba resigned her interim position on July 24th, more than 1 day before her term was set to expire. And then she cites to an exhibit. The same day, the Attorney General appointed her as special attorney and designated her as the first assistant, her own first assistant, a position that was vacant since July 22nd, 2025. That vacancy resulted from Attorney General's lawful exercise of her authority to remove each assistant U.S. attorney. And she designated Habba to fill the vacancy, basically serving as her own assistant. And then on page 12, notwithstanding this straightforward authorization, the criminal defendant here argues that Habba cannot perform the duties of the United States Attorney in an acting capacity because she's barred from serving in that role under a certain statute. And then they kind of walk through the statute. My other favorite part of the brief is when they recognize that there's a big difference between a Senate-confirmed prosecutor and whatever this thing Alina Habba is, where they say the following on page 2 to try to stop the indictment from being dismissed. Ms. Habba has been properly appointed as a special attorney to the Attorney General of the United States and directed to supervise the U.S. Attorney's Office of New Jersey. She could still supervise this case, which was initially initiated by a validly empaneled grand jury and a, wait for it, Senate-confirmed U.S. attorney. So she knows the difference that she's not a Senate-confirmed U.S. attorney. She makes a big deal out of it on page 2. So if I'm the judge, and there'll be one more brief in the case, I'd be like, I don't see how you've been properly appointed. I'm not here to remove you from your office yet, but it is an issue. I'm going to declare that you're invalidly appointed. And then I'll ask the other side to ask for further relief. That's likely what's going to happen. You're here. We're hitting this story every day on Reporting from MeidasTouch and Legal AF. I'm Michael Popok. Join me here. Join me on Legal AF YouTube channel. Hit the free subscribe button there as well. Till my next report, this is Michael Popok. Can't get your fill of Legal AF? Me neither. That's why we formed the Legal AF Substack. Every time we mention something in a hot take, whether it's a court filing or a oral argument, come over to the Substack. You'll find the court filing and the oral argument there, including a daily roundup that I do called, wait for it, Morning AF. What else? All the other contributors from Legal AF are there as well. We got some new reporting. We got interviews. We got ad-free versions of the podcast and hot takes. Where? Legal AF on Substack. Come over now to free subscribe.